Hey, what is up guys? This is Nishi from MST.TV back with another Market Watch episode. So I'm sorry that I didn't get around to posting last week. It was a little bit hectic for myself between work and some non-Yu-Gi-Oh things, but of course we are back now, and man, there are a ton of things that we have to go over. We have various cards revealed for different OCG sets such as Burst of Destiny and a couple of new structure decks. We had a couple of events with the new cards from Lightning Overdrive, and then we have a ban list that's right around the corner as well, all of which are pulling different bits of the market in separate directions. We're going to cover some of the main cards that we've been seeing trending on the market recently from both this week and last week, and then later this week we'll try to cover some of the smaller, more obscure cards that may have flown under the radar. Let's get started. Alright, so first up, let's take a look at Rise of the Mega Monarch. This is a card that I remember very clearly as being a horrible pull back in the Duelist Alliance days. It's never really been a card that has had much attention, even from those Monarch players. However, with the brand new Flunderese archetype that is set to debut in Burst of Destiny, people are turning to Megaryza as a potentially really useful utility card. The Flunderese are a winged beast archetype where half the monsters are wind, and interestingly enough, they rely on normal and tribute summons to play the game. It just so happens that Megaryza is also a winged beast, so you can use an effect to tribute summon this card out, and proc its effect to spin cards on the field, as well as return a card from your graveyard to your hand. In fact, the Flunderese even plays ways to allow you to normal summon on your opponent's turn, so this card can be a really useful form of disruption as well. Now, because Ryza has been so overlooked over time, it actually just has two secret rare printings available. The originals from Duelist Alliance, which are $22 each right now, and the Megaton reprints, which are $12 each. This card was really easy to ignore before, so I would definitely recommend digging this card out of your holo bulk if you can find some. In the meantime, I would actually say that it's reasonable to keep or pick up a copy or two if you want to play the Flunderese deck, because it does look like it has the potential to be a top tier strategy, but definitely do consider offloading your extras if you can move them for a hyped up price, just in case they do get reprinted. Next up, we have ZW Leo Arms. So Leo Arms is a generic rank 5 monster that is obviously meant to be played in the Utopia deck. You can detach a material from it to search for a ZW card from your deck, and then you can also equip it to a Utopia monster to boost its attack power by 3000, and then if the monster that's equipped with this card attacked, you can send this card to the graveyard to have it attack again. Now, from the little bit of looking around that I've done, I don't believe that Leo Arms is a card that the Utopia deck really plays. At least I didn't see it in too many of the lists that I looked at. However, the card was only ever printed in one set, Cosmo Blazer, a set that came out way back in 2013. Because of that, and because it's a potentially useful search card for the archetype, I suppose people are targeting the card for a buyout just in case it ends up being useful. The card is definitely overpriced though, and we're actually seeing both the Ultimate Rare and Ultra up at the $25 mark on TCG Player at the moment, which is pretty crazy because I believe that historically this card has been under $10. In fact, I do clearly remember picking up a few of the Ultras for only $1 each. Now, of course, I'm no expert on Utopia decks, so if this card is more useful than I think it is, please do correct me in the comments below. But between how overpriced the card is and the fact that it doesn't appear to be a key piece of how the deck is played, I would be actively looking to get rid of this card as quickly as possible. Alright, so now we're on to Herald of Orange Light. So this is a card that we've talked about a couple of times before, I guess most notably back before the Benton and Union Carrier hits. Now, however, we of course see Drytron emerging as a potentially top tier deck with the release of Fafnir and Diviner in Lightning Overdrive, and Herald of Orange Light is still a key card in that strategy. It's a hand trap that allows you to negate key cards like Droll Lockbird or Nibiru, or if you don't have another fairy in your hand, you can discard it for the effect of Herald of Perfection or Herald of Ultimateness as well. Now with this card, we're actually seeing all the different versions of this card trending upwards across the board. The only true holo version, in my opinion, the Ultimate Rare from OTS Tournament Pack 7, is currently up at $150 on TCG Player right now, though I do remember seeing it as high as $240 late last week. What's interesting is that we're also seeing the lower rarities of the card bought out as well, with even the Turbo Pack and Structure Deck commons all being about $5 each, and then some of the harder to find lower end rarities such as the original rares or the Battle Pack Shatterfoils hitting about the $10 mark. Hopefully you guys bought them just after the last ban list because they did fall for a bit, but if you're looking to pick them up now, you're gonna have to pay up a tiny bit. This card is definitely a must own if you want to play Drytrons, though I personally would be perfectly fine with playing the commons and selling off my ultimate rares. I think that Drytrons are going to survive the upcoming ban list untouched, so I think that there will be a bit of a spike in the price of this card immediately after the list drops. But I would also expect the card to be reprinted in something like Brothers of Legend, which drops later this year, so it's really up to you guys to think about how much you want to play this deck in the meantime. Okay, so an interesting card that I want to take a look at next is Zoodiac Tiger Mortar. So recently we've been seeing Zoodiac Tri-Brigade as one of the 3 best decks of the format, right up there with Shaddoll Invoked and Dragon Link. The Zoodiac package that we're seeing used is a bit of a smaller one, but because of how many people are turning to the deck, I guess the quantities of Tiger Mortar available on the market have gone down considerably. This is an important card for the Zoodiac engine, allowing you to attach a material from your graveyard to your Zoodiac monster, giving it additional stats and sometimes an effect as well. Because of this increase in popularity, we are seeing Tiger Mortar up at around $10 a piece for either of the ultra rare versions. Now, when I look at Tiger Mortar, I'm scared for 2 reasons. First, I wonder how the upcoming ban list is going to hit Zoodiac Tri-Brigade. We just saw Trident banned in the OCG, and a similar hit here would probably kill the viability of the engine. However, it's also totally possible that we don't see it touched at all as a way to push the Tri-Brigade cards that will be reprinted in the 2021 Megatins. At the same time, we just saw a reprint of Trident and Chakanine in Maximum Gold, but we still need reprints of Tiger Mortar and Thoroughblade, which I could definitely see coming in Brothers of Legend later this year. Between these 2 things, I would only be looking to own a single copy of Tiger Mortar if you're planning on using it in your own deck, because with 2 potential reasons for the card to tank in price coming up very soon, I wouldn't want to be caught holding on to too many copies of this card. So there's one card that we're looking at straight out of Lightning Overdrive, and that is Amazement Administrator Arlecchino. I do remember when I did my price predictions for secret rares from Lightning Overdrive that I said Arlecchino had a lot of potential to be a sleeper secret rare from the set, which did end up happening, though to be fair, I thought it wouldn't happen until after the next ban list. This is a really interesting card for trap-based decks such as Eldritch or Paleozoics, as you can summon this card out when a trap is activated, and it also allows you to pop cards or pull a Crackdown type of Amazement trap card from out of your deck. So on release, this card was about $20 or so, and it looked like it was going to fall from there. However, I believe that on the weekend after its release, we actually saw an Amazement deck list running around that managed to top some sort of event, and the card did jump back up to around the $25 mark, and it has been staying up there ever since. I think that the idea here is that people believe after the upcoming ban list, when some of the top performing decks right now are toned down, Amazement could end up being a powerful engine for back row oriented strategies and climb up in demand and price even further. Obviously, that's not a guarantee because no one knows exactly what's going to be happening on this ban list, but I think that because this card isn't going to be reprinted until the 2022 Megatins, it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world for you to grab a set of this card if you can find someone offloading them for anywhere from $15 to $20 a piece. Next up, we have Plunder Patrol Ship Lease. So this card is, in my opinion, the best Plunder Patrol extra deck monster that the archetype has available. It's a light monster, making it fairly easy to bring out. It provides a negation and a search, and it can function as an extender when it's on the field as well. To be honest, the deck hasn't really done anything at all, despite a lot of the cards seeming really awesome, though it did get a pretty decent boost in the form of Black Eyes, which was released in Lightning Overdrive, though of course the deck still isn't quite top tier yet. Now at the moment, we're seeing Lease at just under the $10 mark, which honestly isn't too bad, and at this price I definitely think I would consider picking up the card. I think that the Plunder Patrol archetype has a really strong base of cards so far, and we could definitely see another OCG exclusive Plunder Patrol card released that would push the deck into meta relevance, kind of like what happened with Guru for the Subterror deck or Double Helix for Spirals. Also, let's remember that most of the time, we don't see TCG exclusive archetypes get reprinted in the Megatins, so there's a very good chance that the Plunder Patrols go on a little bit longer without a reprint, which will keep their prices higher overall in the long run. Overall, I wouldn't say that Plunder Patrols are a super safe investment, since there's a lot of uncertainty with regards to whether or not they will receive support in the future, but I feel like Lease is the type of card that you can feel comfortable grabbing when you're looking to round off a trade, or if you can find them at enough of a discount. So this is one that I found kind of interesting. It's Mardel, the Generator Boss of Light. I think that in general people associate Mardel with the Generator deck as a search card for anything from the Generator archetype. However, a lot of people forget that Mardel actually searches for any plant on summon, and you can actually get that search if you summon Mardel off of Lone Fire Blossom as well. What's also worth noting is that there are actually two plant archetypes that got some support recently in the game right now, the Sunavalon and the Rose Dragons, and as far as I can tell, those two decks are the reason for Mardel's recent increase in price. I don't know if Mardel is necessarily played in those decks, I think it's just hyped up right now. I don't remember seeing Mardel in any of the lists that I took a look at, but then again, I didn't pay too much attention to Sunavalon since the entire deck just looks like a bunch of trees. I couldn't really tell the difference between any of the cards when I was watching the replays or anything like that. Anyways, over the last year, we've generally seen Mardel down at around $12 to $15, but within the last month and a bit, it has slowly trended up past $20 and now sits at $30 a piece on TCG Player. Now I think we do have to be careful with this card. We saw Dragon Maids reprinted in Maximum Gold, and the Generator cards also came from Mystic Fighters, right? So there is a pretty decent chance that we could see the Generators reprinted in an upcoming reprint set as well. Either way, I don't think that Sunavalon or Rose Dragons are going to be even slightly meta relevant anytime soon, so I would definitely be looking to offload Mardel at its hyped up price if possible. Alright guys, the last card I'm looking at here is one that I actually couldn't really find anything about. Synchro Control is a quick play spell card that you can activate if you control no synchros. You get to pay 1,000 life points and then steal an opponent's synchro monster until the end of the turn. To be honest, I can't really think of any specific applications of this card within the meta right now. The only one I can think of that it would be really impactful against, sort of, is Borreload Savage Dragon, since you can chain it and stop them from attaching the Link monster to it so that they don't have the negate. I don't know, that seems kind of bad. Also, this is a quick play spell card, not a hand trap, so you're going first, which means you have to set this card. Not really that great. I guess maybe there is a chance that it could be useful in an upcoming format, and you never know as long as Halki Fibrax is running around in the game, but that's anybody's guess. Anyways, this is a super rare card from back in Absolute Power Force, and right now it is a $7 card with only the one printing available. Doesn't really seem like a lot of money, but it's a lot for a card that seems to have no place or application in the meta at all. This one is honestly just more of an FYI for you guys. If you have it, it might be a great card for you to dig up and unload, since I don't really know too much about this one. If you guys do know what this is about, please make sure that you let me know in the comment section down below. Alright guys, that is it for today's Market Watch episode. There's a lot of stuff going on. I didn't quite get to go over everything I wanted to in today's episode. I will do my best to work on another Market Watch for later this week to go over those few other things. Also, we do have a ban list coming up, and restrictions are slowly being eased up where we're located, so expect some joint videos with both me and Tombox to be coming back sometime in the near future. Anyways guys, if you did enjoy today's episode, make sure that you hit that thumbs up button for me and let me know. Also make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think about the cards we talked about in today's episode, and also let me know about what other cards are trending in the market so that I can cover them in a future episode as well. And if you guys haven't already, for whatever reason, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get all of the latest and greatest content from both Tombox and myself here on the channel. And until next time guys, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV.